this is Seema Chalani, your mentor from KYMS Academy, and I welcome you all to this platform once again. CAT 2024 Slot 2 previous year question series is going on, and we have discussed 8 questions of verbal ability section, and out of the 4 RCs, we have discussed RC1. Today in this video, we are going to discuss RC2. So let's get started and together we make it happen. So let us maintain the tradition and start the passage with a beautiful quote. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. Now, what are goals? Goals are actually what you want to achieve, and accomplishments when you actually achieve that goal. So what is discipline then? Discipline is consistent hard work and self-denial. So yet we can say that discipline turns your plan into reality. Okay? There are 3 other common drivers for carnivore human attacks, some of which are more preventable than others. Natural aggression-based conflicts such as those involving females protecting their young or animals protecting a food source can often be avoided as long as people stay from those animals and their food. So in the first paragraph, author is basically talking about the 3 common drivers for carnivore human attacks. First is what? Natural aggression-based conflicts. Now, most of the carnivores, they are actually aggressive by nature. So normally they enter into the attacks. So how can we avoid them? Simply, people can avoid such attacks by avoiding such animals and their food sources. Clear? So this was the first driver. Carnivores that recognize humans as a means to get food are a different story. Why carnivores that recognize humans as a means to get food are a different story? The reason is, if any carnivore, if it see any human as its prey, so normally we can say that it is being more aggressive. So that's a different story, right? As they become more reliant on human food they might find at campsites or in rubbish bins, they become less avoidant of humans. Now this line says that the carnivores, they make a frequent visit at the dustbins. Why dustbins? Because normally what happens when people go for camping, so when they eat fish or non-vegetarian, so when they throw the waste away, so normally these carnivores come at that camping site for the food, and because the visit is so frequent that they become less avoidant of the people. Less avoidant means they become less fearful of the people. अब उनको लोगों से डर नहीं लगता है, right? Losing that instinctive fear response puts them into more situations where they could get into an altercation. Altercation means fight. Because they are losing their natural, fear of people. So what happens? They enter more into the attacks. अब क्योंकि वो ज़्यादा उनसे डरते नहीं है, तो might be possible वहाँ पर कुछ conflicts हो जाए या attacks हो जाए, which often results in that bear being put down by humans. So just to be on the safe side, what the humans do? They kill the bear. क्योंकि obviously अगर उनका frequent visit रहेगा तो might be possible कि वहाँ पर वो उन पर attack कर दे, इसलिए उनको क्या कर दिया जाता है? They are put down by the humans. And for that reason, Sarvin has also given a common saying over here, which is a fed bear is a dead bear. So if bear keeps coming over there, for food, so it might be a danger to the people, and for that reason people are killing the bear. Predatory or predation related attacks are quite rare, only accounting for 17% of attacks in North America since 1955. So here basically the author has given us the data कि basically predatory attacks are very rare, ज़्यादा होता नहीं है, only 17% अभी तक देखने को मिला है. They occur when a carnivore views a human as prey and hunts it like it would any other animal it uses for food. So normally attack कब होते हैं? जब when any carnivore see any human as its prey. उनको लगता है कि yes, this human can be food for us, तो उसी टाइम पर predatory attack होते हैं. Otherwise the attacks are very rare. Clear? Then there are animal attacks provoked by people taking pictures with them or feeding them in natural settings such as national parks, which often end with animals being euthanized. Here the meaning of euthanize is again kill out of precaution. You know what happens normally most of the time, This you must have also seen, even I have seen that people एनिमल्स के साथ स्पेशली दीज कार्निवोर्स के साथ पिक्चर क्लिक लाना बहुत पसंद करते हैं, ओके, सो दैट वो अपने एफबी अकाउंट पर या इंस्टाग्राम पर उसको पोस्ट कर सके और दे कैन फ्लॉन्ट कि देखो हमने इस कार्निवोर के साथ पिक्चर लिया है. बट आई थिंक दैट इज रियली स्टुपिडिटी ऑन द पार्ट ऑफ द पीपल. मैं आपको बताती हूँ, रिसेंटली अभी मैं वीडियो देख रही थी, उसमें ऐसा ही हो रहा था. अ पर्सन वाज देयर एंड ही वाज गेटिंग द पिक्चर क्लिक्ड, ओके, विद सम टाइगर और मे बी लायन. पर हुआ क्या, एकदम से लायन ने उस पर अटैक कर दिया. तो आई थिंक यू कैन इजीली रिलेट दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग ओवर हियर. तो यहाँ पर ऑथर यही बोल रहा है कि जब नेचुरल सेटिंग में व्हेन पीपल दे वांट टू गेट दी पिक्चर क्लिक विद दीज एनिमल्स, तो अगेन देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी दैट दीज एनिमल्स माइट अटैक देम. तो नॉर्मली वापस से क्या होता है, एज अ प्रिकॉशन दीज एनिमल्स आर किल्ड, ओके, ताकि वो उन पर अटैक ना कर दें. Eventually that animal becomes habituated to people and then bad things happen to the animal. So here the author is trying to say the same thing, क्योंकि हम लोग इतना फोटो पिक्चर उनके साथ क्लिक करवाना पसंद करते हैं कि वो हमारी यूज टू हो जाते हैं. और कई बार ऐसा हो सकता है कि बैड थिंग माइट अराइज ओवर देयर. बैड थिंग क्या हो सकता है, इट कैन बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अटैक और कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स, ओके. And the folks who initially wanted to make that connection don't necessarily realize that, says Christine Wilkinson, a postdoctoral researcher at UC Berkeley, California, who's been studying chaoto-human conflict. So basically, last part is not that important. The only thing is that folks who initially wanted to make that connection, so normally folks here stands for us, we people. So normally हम people क्या करते हैं, we actually want to make some association or the connection with animals. बट बेसिकली वो बैकफायर हो जाता है. किस केस पे बैकफायर हो सकता है, अगर वो एनिमल हम पर अटैक कर दे. तो सेफ साइड पर रहने के लिए बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि हमें एनिमल्स को किल कर देना पड़ता है. क्लियर? आई होप थिंग्स आर गेटिंग क्लियर. यस. नाउ after conducting countless postmortems on all types of carnivore human attacks spanning 75 years, Pantariani's team believes 50% could have been avoided if humans reacted differently. Now here the author is being concerned because he is saying that most of the time people they actually behave abnormally. उनको ऐसा लगता है कि लाइक दीज आर दी कार्निवोर्स एंड हमको इनसे फोटो लेना है, तो ऑब्वियसली वी विल गेट कनेक्टेड टू दीज एनिमल्स एंड दीज एनिमल्स आर नॉट गोइंग टू हार्म अस. तो ऐसा नहीं होता है. कई बार उनका नेचुरल एक नेचर होता है, उनका एक नेचर होता है कि जहाँ पर वो किसी भी टाइम पर आपको हार्म कर सकते हैं. तो ऑथर इज बीइंग एक्चुअली कंसर्न एंड ही इज बीइंग कॉशनरी आल्सो ओवर हियर and is trying to say that if humans start behaving properly, okay, or maybe you can say prudently, तो हम इस तरह के अटैक्स को काफी टाइम तक रोक सकते थे. ओके, टू सर्टेन एक्सटेंट वी कैन स्टॉप सच अटैक्स. A 2007 study co-authored by Pantariani found that engaging in risky behavior around large carnivores increases the likelihood of an attack. So yes, the author is saying the same thing, that these are the certain risky behaviors, and if we avoid such behavior we can avoid such attacks even. But then at that time prudence on the part of people is actually needed. Two of the most common risky behaviors are parents leaving their children to play outside unattended and walking an unleashed dog, according to the study. तो यहाँ पर author is talking about two more risky behaviors which are the common ones. First, if we leave the children unattended means if we leave them alone, or maybe when we walk the dog. Unleashed dog मतलब जिसको अभी हमने फेटर नहीं कर रखा है, उसको हमने कंट्रोल नहीं कर रखा है, राइट. तो बेसिकली व्हाट हैपेंस कि यहाँ पर जो ये कोयोटे अटैक्स होते हैं, कोयोटे अटैक्स बेसिकली दीज आर दी डॉग्स, ओके, एंड दे लुक लाइक वुल्फ, स्मॉल डॉग्स होते हैं. और नॉर्मली इनके बारे में ऐसा बोला गया है कि दैट दे डू नॉट अटैक ह्यूमन बीइंग्स who are 4 to 5 feet tall. But yes, the easy attacks are the children who are 2 to 3 feet tall. तो उनके लिए थोड़ा सा easy हो जाता है. या maybe dog is there and they might attack the dog also. Okay, so basically these are the easy attacks for the carnivore. According to this study, Wilkinson says 66% of coyote attacks involve a dog. तो 66% coyote attacks क्या involve करता है? Dog. अब क्यों करता होगा? तो basically if unleashed dog is there, तो ऑब्वियसली वो उनके लिए इजी अटैक हो जाते हैं. और माइट बी पॉसिबल एट टाइम्स जो डॉग होते हैं वो भी अपना रिएक्शन कार्निवोर्स की तरफ दिखा देते हैं या कोयोटे की तरफ दिखा देते हैं, और इस रीजन से भी वहां पर अटैक हो सकते हैं, राइट. तो 66% अटैक्स किसके होते हैं? dog. People end up in a situation where the dog is being chased, or their dog chases a coyote, or maybe they are walking their dog near a den that is marked and the coyote wants to escort them away, says Wilkinson. So this is the same thing which I told you just now, कि dog easy attacks हो जाते हैं, and at times dog also shows the reaction, and for that reason such conflict or attacks take place. Experts believe climate change also plays a part in the escalation of human carnivore conflicts. Now, this is another driver. Okay, so first driver kya tha? Natural aggression conflict. Second was that they were reaching the campsite for food. Third was if they see the humans as prey. Okay, then third was what? Risky behavior. I mean, what type of risky behavior? That one should not leave the children unattended, or they should not walk the dog, and this was the another driver was that even the climate change, it also plays a part in the escalation means in the increase. अब climate change कैसे human carnivore conflicts को increase करता है, let us see. But the correlation still needs to be ironed out. Okay, तो अभी उसने रीजन नहीं बताया, पर उसने बताया है कि अभी भी यहाँ पर रिसर्च करना बाकी है कि वो कैसे वहां पर उसको इंक्रीज कर देता है, right? As finite resources become scarcer, carnivores and people are coming into more frequent contact, which means that more conflict could occur, says Jen Miller, international program specialist for the US Fish and Wildlife Service. Okay, now here the author is saying then the resources are limited. तो जब resources limited होते हैं, say if the water is limited, okay, because of certain climate change, अगर पानी बहुत ज़्यादा कम है, तो normally the humans and the carnivore they come together, क्योंकि resources limited है, तो maybe वो एक ही जगह पे आ रहे हैं, and because they are coming together, so again there are chances of the attacks. There was an uptick in lion attacks in Western India during a drought when lions and people were relying on the same water sources. The same example is given कि जब resources कम हो जाते हैं, they both come together and the possibility of attacks is higher. The likelihood of human carnivore conflicts appears to be higher in areas of low-income countries dominated by vast rural landscapes and farmland. So this is another driver now. अब basically human carnivore conflicts और कहाँ ज़्यादा हो जाते हैं? The areas of low-income countries dominated by vast rural landscapes and farmland. According to Panteriani's research, there are a lot of working landscapes in the global south that are really heterogeneous, that are interspersed with carnivore habitats, forests and savannas, which creates a lot more opportunity for these encounters just statistically, says Wilkinson. Now basically what does the entire paragraph say? Entire paragraph say that if homogeneity is there, okay, so homogeneity में basically author is trying to say that obviously wildlife area is there and human area is there, and both are separate area. इसका मतलब wildlife carnivore cannot reach there and the human cannot reach there. तो अगर homogeneous होगा तो obviously there are less chances of attack. But जब heterogeneity वहाँ पर होती, तो heterogeneity का meaning क्या हो गया यहाँ पर? Wildlife area, then human area, wildlife area, then human area. So when mixed area is there, so obviously these human beings, they become the easy prey for the carnivore. So author ये भी बोल रहा है कि यहाँ पर homogeneity होनी चाहिए, heterogeneity नहीं होना चाहिए. It means there should be separate areas for wildlife and the human, ताकि वो उसका tax को कम हो सके. तो this is what the author is trying to say in this particular paragraph. अब why he has mentioned the areas of low income countries? क्योंकि रूरल एरियाज में बेसिकली लो इनकम पीपल होते हैं एंड देयर हैबिटेट इज मोस्टली रूरल एरियाज, और रूरल एरियाज के बाद ही वाइल्ड लाइफ एरियाज होते हैं, तो नॉर्मली वो उनके लिए इजी अटैक हो जाते हैं. बट इफ वी वांट टू प्रिवेंट सच अटैक्स देन ऑब्वियसली देयर शुड बी सेपरेट एरियाज फॉर वाइल्ड लाइफ एंड फॉर ह्यूमंस. क्लियर? सो हियर वी कैन से that the style can be persuasive. Author हमें persuade कर रहा है कि obviously such things can be stopped if we maintain all these things. And secondly, author is being informative also, हमें information दे रहा है, he is being cautionary, वो हमें alert कर रहा है, and he is being concerned also. Clear? So now let us check the questions and the answers. According to the passage, which of the following scenarios would most likely exacerbate the frequency of carnivore human conflicts? Now, again, here comes the role of vocabulary. If you do not know the meaning of exacerbate, obviously it might be difficult for you to solve this question. And for that reason, I have been telling you yet again and again that do not give a go by to vocabulary. Vocabulary is something really very, very important. It can either make you sink or it can make you swim. Okay. So what is the meaning of exacerbate? It means intensify. ठीक है, अब इस क्वेश्चन में he is asking you most likely exacerbate the frequency of carnivore human conflicts. मतलब कौन सा ऐसा ऑप्शन है जो carnivore human conflicts को इंटेंसिफाई कर देगा, बढ़ा देगा. ओके, सो लेट अस सी द ऑप्शंस नाउ. Attempting to photograph wild animals from within secure wing areas in national parks and protected zones. Now you see what the author has told in the paragraph, that they are taking the picture with those carnivores in the natural setting only. Natural setting मतलब जहाँ पर वो है वहीं पे वो चले जाते हैं. But here they are saying within secured wing. तो अगर आप secured places से उनको देख रहे हैं तो obviously the chances of attack will be less. So this cannot be the answer. This is not going to intensify, rather it is going to assuage it. उसको वो decrease ही कर देगा. Clear? So option 1 cannot be the answer. Implementing food waste management strategies to prevent wild animals being attracted to human food sources. In paragraph, we studied that the leftovers was there, and because of that reason, the carnivores they were reaching that particular camping site, right? But यहाँ पर पैसेज में ऑप्शन में वो बोल रहा है कि फूड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट अगर प्रॉपर वे से होगा तो इट इज गोइंग टू रिड्यूस द चांसेस ऑफ अटैक. सो इट इज गोइंग टू रिड्यूस, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू इंक्रीज द conflicts. Again, it is going to be wrong. Third, addressing the impact of climate change on the availability of resources for wildlife. So basically, author in the passage, he told us that resources are limited, and for that reason, carnivore and humans they are coming together, and that leads to conflict. But अगर आप उसको address करोगे तो it is not going to exacerbate, it is going to allay, it is going to reduce. Again, this cannot be the answer. Okay, so now fourth is left, and it is going to be the answer. Unleashing dogs by pet owners in areas with known high concentrations of large carnivores. Obviously, if concentration of carnivores is there and if you are going to leave the dogs over there, it is going to exacerbate the conflict. So yes, this is the answer. It was an easy question. Okay, now next, according to the passage, what is a significant factor that contributes to the habituation of carnivores to human presence? Now habituation, okay, अब habituation part was given in the second paragraph. Now here the author is asking you which is the factor that contributes to the habituation of carnivores. मतलब कि carnivores किस रीजन से वहां पर आ जाते हैं एंड किस रीजन से दे बिकम हैबिचुअल टू ह्यूमन बींग्स ओवर देयर. इट मीन्स दे बिकम लेस अफ्रेड ऑफ द people, they become less avoidant of the people. So that part we have to see over here, right? The natural aggression exhibited by carnivores exacerbated by human interference, particularly when they are safeguarding their offspring or food sources. Now, but a natural aggression is coming in the first paragraph, and the range of answering this question will be the second paragraph. So I would say this is correct, but this cannot be the answer because it is out of the range. Okay, so this cannot be the answer. The increased scarcity of resources due to climate change forcing carnivores to venture outside their natural habitats in search of sustenance. So where did we come across the word climate change? It is towards the end of the passage. Again, it is out of the range. It is going to be eliminated. The predatory perception of humans as potential prey within the carnivore's food chain. So basically in this option, author is talking about the predatory perception. Okay, and when he is asking you the question habituation of carnivores, matlab how they become habitual to the human. Okay, because they keep coming at the camping site. So the reduction in carnivores' instinctive fear response resulting from their reliance upon human provided food, because they become very dependent on the food provided by the human beings. Okay, and for that reason obviously they lose their natural fear of human beings. So yes, this is going to be the answer. So now in this question we have learned that we also have to see the range of answering the question. अगर आपसे वो क्वेश्चन में ये पूछता that which of the following options you agree with, so I think I would have got agree with one also, two also, three also. But he's asking you a very specific question, and the answer to this question we can get from paragraph 2. Okay, clear? So answer 4 is the correct choice. Now, this is something that you really need to understand. As I told you earlier also, if any question is there and it is very tedious to understand, rephrase it. Beta usko rephrase kar liya karo, especially such kind of question. So if you want, you can jot down this important point in your notebook. अब आप देखिए इस क्वेश्चन को. Which of the following statements, if false, would be inconsistent with the concerns raised in the passage regarding the drivers of carnivore human conflicts? So basically such kind of questions are considered as CR question. Critical reasoning के questions होते हैं if false, if true, strengthening, weakening, inconsistent, consistent. तो जब इस तरह के questions आते हैं basically this is a part of CR. But whenever you read such kind of question, it is going to create a lot of confusion in your mind. So let us keep it very easy. अब हमको सिर्फ करना क्या है, एग्जाम में if you find such kind of question, rephrase it. If false would be inconsistent, तो आपको सिर्फ वो ऑप्शन देखना है which is consistent to the paragraph. So this is how you can rephrase this question in your mind. Okay, so when you are marking such type of questions, please do not keep recalling the question this way. If false would be inconsistent, if false would be inconsistent. No, simply recall the question this way, which is consistent. Okay, which is consistent. So now let us see. And this was the question which was actually debatable. Okay, तो यहाँ पर ऑफिशियल आंसर क्या है, दो आई एम नॉट अग्री टू दैट आंसर because my answer is different, but official answer उसने वही बोला है, but I have a certain reasoning and why I am saying that I am not happy with the answer, official answer of CAT 2024 slot 2. Okay, now climate change has had negligible effects on the frequency of carnivore human interactions in affected regions. Now what did I say, हमें क्या देखना है, we have to go for that particular option which is consistent, because I have rephrased the question this way. Okay, तो जो consistent है, तो बेटा in this sentence, in this option he is saying that climate change has had negligible effects. negligible effects तो नहीं था, उसका इफेक्ट तो था, बट हाँ रिसर्च अभी प्रूव नहीं कर पाए हैं. तो इन दी पैसेज दे हैव रिटन दैट इट हैज हैड एन इफेक्ट, बट ऐसा नहीं है नेग्लिजिबल इफेक्ट है. ओके, तो ऑब्वियसली इट इज नॉट इनकंसिस्टेंट विद द पैसेज, तो दिस कैन बी एलिमिनेटेड. Carnivores lose their instinctive fear of humans when consistently exposed to human food sources. Yes, it is clearly given in the paragraph, in paragraph 2. So it is inconsistent with the passage. So this can be the answer. Okay. Predatory attacks by carnivores are a common occurrence. Was it a common occurrence? Because in the passage we read that predatory attacks are rare. Rare, how much percent? Only 17%. So you cannot say that these are the common occurrence. Okay, so again this is wrong. This is wrong means it is inconsistent. Okay, human efforts to avoid risky behaviors around large carnivores have proven effective in reducing conflict incidents. तो again this thing is not mentioned over there. वो ये बोल रहे हैं कि रिस्की बिहेवियर है, नहीं होना चाहिए, बट अभी ये प्रूव हो चुका है, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. तो अगेन इट इज नॉट गोइंग एज पर द पैसेज. So again this is eliminated. So what is the answer? Answer is going to be 2. Okay, now you see answer is 2, but the official answer is 1. They have taken 1 as the answer, and many students they raise the ticket over this answer, but CAT ने इस आंसर को चेंज नहीं किया है, and the CAT has kept the answer 1 only. Okay, but yes, I am not convinced with the official answer की official answer to this question. So my answer is 2 and official answer is 1. Now you are the best judge. आपको जज करना है whether it is 1 or 2. Okay, but I have given you the simple thing that you have to go for that particular option which is consistent. Okay, which is going as per the passage. Clear? So official answer was 1. My answer is 2. Now you have to decide the things. The last question. Given the insights provided by Pantiriani's research and Wilkinson's statement, which of the following conclusions can be drawn about the relationship between landscape heterogeneity and human carnivore conflicts? Now, this was something that we came across in the passage, or rather I should say that we came across towards the end of the passage. Okay, so last two paragraphs थे वहां पर हमने इसको देखा था. So let us see now. So what the author is asking us, can be drawn. Which conclusion can be drawn? Okay. Homogeneous landscapes with uniform agriculture practices are more likely to experience high rates of human carnivore conflicts due to the predictability of resources. Beta, this cannot be concluded. The reason is author is saying that heterogeneity is there, and because of heterogeneity, lots of attacks are there. So basically, author is saying that homogeneous landscape should be there. Okay. तो अब यहाँ पर आप ये बोल रहे हो कि homogeneous landscape with uniform practices are more likely to experience high rates of human carnivore. No, it is going to experience less rates of. Okay, कम हो जाएंगे. तो it is going against the passage. It cannot be the answer. This cannot be the conclusion. Landscape heterogeneity characterized by a mix of farmland and natural habitats inherently reduces the chances of human carnivore conflicts by providing more refuge for wildlife away from human activity. Are we talking about this thing? Of course not. We are not talking about this thing. The reason is, if heterogeneity is there, so it is going to increase the chances of conflicts. When the option is saying that it reduces, it doesn't reduce, it increases. Again, this is wrong. So both these options are going against the passage. So if they are going against the passage, they cannot be the conclusion. The diversity and interspersion of working landscapes with carnivore habitats in rural areas increase the statistical probability of encounters between humans and carnivores. Yes, this is something the author is trying to say. Diversity here stands for heterogeneity. Okay, working landscapes with carnivore habitat, this is also given. Rural areas increase the probability of attacks between this and this. So this is completely given in the passage. It is in line with the passage. Therefore, it can be the probable conclusion. But again, I would say do not forget to verify all the options before you mark any answer. As of now, my answer is going to be 3, but I will verify option 4 as well. Low-income countries with vast contiguous wilderness areas are less prone to human carnivore conflicts because these areas lack the human presence necessary for such encounters. No, these areas lack the human presence necessary for such encounters. No, अभी just आपको मैंने explain किया कि areas और लो इनकम कंट्रीज के जो पर्टिकुलरली एरियाज होते हैं, दे आर वेरी वेरी क्लोज टू दी wilderness. So if they are very close to the wilderness, so obviously chances of attacks are very high. So again, this is going against the passage. So what is the answer? Answer is going to be 3rd. Okay, barring one question which was questionable, which was controversial in the examination, rest 3 questions, they were very easy and beautiful elimination techniques were there. These were the direct questions. So I hope you understood the passage and how to go for the question answers. So I'm done with today's RC. I hope you learned something, and if you have any doubt, you can always visit our site and give us a call. Thank you so much.